Why are you smiling?
I'm just thinking about pudding.
I just finished Gilmore Girls Season 1, Episode 6, Rory's Birthday Parties. The big focus on this episode is it's Rory's birthday. I believe she's turning 16. They don't actually say what age she is, so it's either 15 or 16. We'll go with 16. But yeah, so it's her birthday, and she is having two parties because her grandma wants to throw her one, and Lorelai has to throw the party that Rory actually wants. So that's the big plot for this episode. And I must say, I love how this episode starts off because lately they've been starting the episodes off with them being at the Friday night dinner. So of course that's what happened in this episode too. And at the dinner, Emily Gilmore brings up how their lawyer is coming the next day, and so she has Rory and Lorelai go through and stick post-it notes on whatever they want in the house when they die. And so Lorelai's like, I just need to bring a video camera to these dinners because it's like a wild request. And so that's pretty much like Rory and Lorelai are both shocked. They're like, what? And so then the rest of the beginning, they go around and they're like putting sticky notes on stuff. It gets discussed that Rory's birthday is the following Friday. Lorelai asks her mom if they can move the Friday night dinner to Saturday instead so they can celebrate Rory's birthday on her birthday back in Stars Hollow. And of course the mom's like, no. Emily kind of was just very hung on keeping Friday as the agreement with no exceptions, which was kind of wild in my opinion. But also another focal point of this episode was the fact that at the Friday night dinner, Emily served pudding, and it's like a simple, non-elegant, classic dessert. And so both Rory and Lorelai thought that serving them pudding, she was reaching out to them and trying to make an effort to get to know them. And so that's kind of like the big theme in this episode too. So Emily reaches out to Lorelai. She's like, hey, can you help me find a gift that Rory will actually like? So they go shopping, and they actually have a good time, which is a first because they almost never get along, and they actually get along here, and it's like so nice and so precious. So then Rory goes to school, and she finds out that for Emily's party on her actual birthday, Emily, her grandmother, has invited all of her children classmates who Rory does not like, she does not ask if they can be invited, but Emily invited them anyway, and she finds out, but she doesn't want to tell her mom because Lorelai and Emily they're in a good space in their relationship right now. They're not arguing, they're actually getting along, and so Rory doesn't want to wreck that, so she keeps it to herself. But then she ends up going off on the party on her grandma because her grandma wants her to go hang out with her children classmates. Then she wants her to make a speech. Then she keeps on taking her around, introducing her, and it just drives Rory crazy. So she goes off. She's like, I didn't even want this party. This is your party. You could do that. I didn't even want these people here. And so she goes off. Emily gets mad at Lorelai then. She's like, your daughter has no manners. And then Lorelai's confused. She's like, what have I done? Like, I don't know what's going on. So Rory and Lorelai, they are up in Lorelai's old room at her grandparents' house, and they're just talking. Then Emily finds them, and she's like, y'all are both being rude. Y'all need to go back down to the party. So they go, and then Emily Gilmore is basically mad at the two of them once the party ends. And so Rory tries to do an olive branch. She's like, hey, we're having a party tomorrow. How about you come to Stars Hollow and actually celebrate my birthday with me? And Emily's like, I had a party, you messed it up, we're not going. And so Emily is just stuck in her ways, and she's still focused on what she wants, not what her granddaughter wants. She kind of wants to have a relationship with them on her terms and not anyone else's, which is kind of like a big thing. And then Lorelai brings up, she's like, hey, you don't know anything about us. We thought that by you serving us pudding and going shopping trying to find something that Rory wants, that you were taking the time to actually get to know us. And that doesn't seem to be the case because you're still stuck in your ways, and it's your way or the highway, essentially. And so the grandparents end up coming to Rory's party in Stars Hollow on the Saturday, and there they find out a lot more about Rory's upbringing, and they meet the neighbors, and Emily realizes that she doesn't know her daughter at all because she finds out that Lorelai had broke her leg and she never even knew it. And so it just ends with them leaving. Emily's just like, Lorelai was right, I don't know my own kid. And then they like drive away and leave. So that part's kind of sad, but I think it is also kind of like a turning moment for Emily to where she realizes that what Lorelai has been telling her is true. And so I don't know, maybe we'll see like a change of the ways, or her actually trying to make an effort to get to know them because she realizes she doesn't. And so the way she was going about it isn't the correct way. And so she needs to change. So we're going to see. I hope that's the case. I will say there was no Max Medina in this episode. Sad, I know. But we did get Dean for a little while, and I'm actually not mad at him in this episode. I kind of thought how he appeared was like a cute Rory Dean moment because we first see him on Rory's birthday. He stops by Luke's diner because he must have seen Rory and Lane sitting there. And so Rory and Dean, they don't talk, but they like keep on looking at each other. And then as Dean is leaving, he like looks over at Rory, mouths, happy birthday. And that just makes Rory's day like so happy. Like it's kind of, you're starting to see glimpses of how their relationship works, but it's still the awkwardness because it is high school teenage love, and that could be very awkward. And so then later in the episode, he sneaks by her house after the party is done, and he gives her a gift, and Lorelai actually sees that because she has not known, Rory has not told her anything about Dean, so Lorelai sees Rory with the guy, and she's like, oh. So it kind of ends with that, and so that's about to be drama, I think, in the next episode. I think Lorelai is going to be mad that Rory has not told her anything about this boy, but we will see. And also, for this episode, we find out that Paris has a crush on Tristan, which I had forgotten about, and Tristan is obsessed with getting Rory to go out with him because he's kind of like a jerk in this season, or like he thinks he's all that guy, and Rory keeps on turning him down, and I think that's what he finds attractive, like she's saying no to him, so he's like, I want her because she's telling me no, and which is warning signs in itself. But anyway, so Paris has a crush on Tristan, and Paris and Rory actually have a moment where they figure out that they both want to go to Harvard, and they're kind of like, well, Harvard's a big school, and then Paris asks Rory, she's like, do you like Tristan? And Rory's like, no, I don't like Tristan. And then Paris kind of smiles. She's like, okay. So it's, you start to see that Paris has a crush on Tristan. And so I think they're kind of diving into that a little bit. I think this was a kind of like changing episode because I kind of think we're going to see some character changes in the next few seasons because Lorelai is going to be mad at Rory that she didn't tell her about this guy. Emily, I definitely think, is going to try to make more of an effort and actually try to get to know them, I hope. But yeah, so we shall see. This has been another episode of Real Talk with Noelle.